Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 12. Best sports show going highly opinionated. I'm your co-host, Josh. Ladies and gentlemen, the best co-host in the game. That's Tim right there. What's up, Tim?
Hey, what's up? How you feeling, man?
I'm good, brother. How you, man? Everything good?
Hey, everything good, man. I ain't complaining, man. Ready for episode 12.
Episode 12. Let the people know, bro. We got a jam-packed show for them. Great
Yes,
show
sir.
for them. Shout out to everybody that watched this show. Shout out to everybody that watched last week's show. Let's introduce the third member of our crew, the best producer in the game, the guy that makes us look good all the time. Ross, what's going on, brother?
Good, Josh. How you feeling?
I'm good, man. How you?
I can't complain. Like Tim said, I'm ready to get into this episode. We got college basketball coming up. So like you said, we got a jam-packed show, a lot of sports, best time of the year. Almost all the major sports are going on at the same time. So we're going to have a lot to talk about.
Absolutely. Ross, let them know where they can follow us, subscribe, and do all that, do all those wonderful things.
You already know. On Instagram, follow us at highly opinionated __. And on X, follow us at highly _SS. And of course, you're already on the YouTube, so go ahead and subscribe, like, leave a comment. We will comment back.
Hey, not to cut you off. We
Go
have
ahead.
41 subscribers, y'all. So
Seen
9
that.
more than 50.
It's coming.
Like I said, you know what I'm saying? I got the $50 waiting, so you know what I'm saying? 9 more.
9 more subscribers, ladies and gentlemen. Also, we weren't real specific in this last week, so let's be a little bit more specific this week. When you're the 50th subscriber on YouTube, you have to take a picture to us and send it to us. Send it to us on our IG page, our IG highly opinionated. We'll see. Tim will send that $50 right out to the 50th person who is our 50th subscriber on YouTube. I want to thank you guys for listening and watching. We know you hold us to a very, very high standard. Tim with the Ravens and me with everything else. So we appreciate you guys for watching. We love you guys. And we're going to keep striving and being the best sports show that you guys watch. So we appreciate it. You ready to get this thing going, Tim?
Let's get it, man.
Let's get it, brother. Let's get it. So let's start with our college football recap of last week. Week 10 recap. We went over 3 games last week. Let's start with the first one. Let's start with Pittsburgh and SMU. You picked, I think, if I'm not mistaken, you picked Pitt. I picked SMU. If I'm not mistaken.
I want to say I took SMU in a close one. I
took SMU in a close one. Okay.
I'm pretty sure I did. I could be
wrong. I'm
wrong.
going to get you wrong. Well, if you took SMU in a close one, we both were semi-right. SMU won the game. It necessarily wasn't close, but they won the game 48-25. SMU, in my opinion, they dominated this game. Jennings, the quarterback, was 17-25, 306 yards, 2 touchdowns, no turnovers. Smith, the running back for SMU, he had a great game, 23 attempts, 161 yards, 2 touchdowns. SMU showed that they were the dominant team, and with the Clemson loss last weekend, now SMU is making putting a hole on that second team that could be playing in the ACC championship game. What was your thought process on this game?
I actually loved it, man, because I'm like, man, the ACC, boy, we got some teams ahead now. Now we can compete with the other conferences, you know what I'm saying? They always say we was lackluster. But Pitt let me down, man. They had a masterclass defensive performance last week, and then I guess they left their defense in Syracuse because, man, that was bad from start to finish, man. Like that score, I mean, the score don't look close, but it was way worse than that during this game. Like SMU, they bounced back from that tough win versus Duke last week, whereas though, like I said, they struggled, and they just put it on Pittsburgh, man. This was a whooping from start to finish.
Absolutely, yeah, you're right about that, Tim. Just to elaborate that point even more, SMU outscored. SMU won the game in the second quarter. They outscored Pittsburgh in the second quarter, 24-0. The score after the first quarter was 7-3. Once you got out 24-0, now it's 31-3 at halftime. The game is over.
Yeah.
So, SMU, they're definitely in contention now. I think more likely than not, they'll probably beat them in Miami in the ACC championship game. So, like you said, more teams in the ACC coming together, showing up that they got heart and fight. I know Pittsburgh didn't have their best game, but shout out to Pitt. They were undefeated going into the game.
Yeah.
Now they're 7-1. So, a tough ACC loss, but things could go that way. They could mathematically still have a chance to go to the ACC championship game. So, shout out to Pitt.
Definitely.
Next game that we're going to go over is, boy, we called this one. We both said that South Carolina was going to beat Texas A&M, and boy, did they ever. South Kakalaki, they won 44-20 at home against Texas A&M. South Carolina was the better team. They played like the better team. Sellers, the quarterback, He threw for 244 yards, 2 touchdowns. He also ran for 106 yards and a touchdown on the ground. Sanders, the running back, ran for 20 carries, 144 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Texas A&M with Reed, the quarterback, freshman quarterback. He played like how I thought he would play. He had an interception, he had a touchdown. Freshman mistakes, things happen. Now Texas A&M has a loss in the SEC, so that brings them back down to the pack with everyone else. Again, South Carolina won 44-20. Your thought process on this game and your thought process on the SEC standings moving forward.
Yeah, like you said, we both picked South Carolina. I guess we know a little bit sometimes, you know.
We know a little bit.
We know a little bit sometimes, but yeah, Rocket Sanders, man, that's probably my favorite college running back to watch. I know everybody like Ashton Gentry from Boise State. He's really good, but like the way Rocket Sanders run, he's just so physical. I love how he runs. So yeah, they dominated on the ground game. Texas A&M offense didn't really get going. So South Carolina did what I thought they would do. And oh man, this SEC race getting a little hectic, man, because most teams got 2 losses. You know what I'm saying? So y'all know who I like. I've been saying it for the last couple of weeks, but we gonna see how this thing shake out because.
And by the way, just so people, if they don't know, who is that?
I still like Tennessee, man. Offensively, I feel like so they're gonna have to what you got win 4 playoff games. What is it, 4? If you like not if you not
if they win the SEC, they just had to win 3.
3, yeah. I think they can win 3. They just gotta figure out the way to score 21 points, man. That defense is so good. Teams not scoring on them like that, so they figure a way to win 20, score 21. You know what I'm saying? They'll be all right. So they got the same. To me, they got the same. I think Nico I is better than McCarthy. They got the same formula as Michigan to me, though. They can run the ball, they can stop it. You know what I'm saying? Same formula.
Gotcha. Just to give a little light on the SEC, every team in the SEC has 1 loss. Georgia is 5-1 in conference. Texas A&M is 5-1 in conference. Tennessee is 4-1. LSU is 3-1. Texas is 3-1. Vanderbilt is 3-2. Alabama is 3-2. Ole Miss is 3-2. I think after that, that's where the cutoff line stops at. If you have 2 losses, you might have an outside chance to get into the SEC championship game. By the way, a little bit of foreshadowing. One of the games that me and Tim will pick in a few minutes will be Alabama and LSU because that is an elimination game. So SEC is wide open. But shout out to South Carolina. Shout out to Shane Beamer, the coach at South Carolina. He always gets those guys ready for big games. And South Carolina, they definitely showed up and showed out. Last game we're going to recap is the game of the day, in my opinion. The Big Ten game, and I'll let you go first because I have a statement on how this game ended. But Ohio State beat Penn State. What's new? They beat them 20-13. Ohio State, they had 1 loss. Now they're basically, in my mind, mathematically shooed in to go to the Big Ten championship game. All they have to do is beat Indiana, which they have Indiana at home in a couple weeks. So congratulations to Ohio State. Congratulations to Ryan Day. You have a top 6 win on the road. Shout out to Ohio State. It looks like it'll be Ohio State and Oregon in a rematch of the Big Ten championship.
James.
Oh, no. That's my line. You got to talk about somebody else because I got something for him. I got something. You're not allowed to talk about James Franklin. That's my line.
I'm not even going to talk about him much, but, man, boy, when I tell you let me down, because just quick story, flashback. I remember I was at Maryland camp, me and my guy Adrian Cox, a couple of my friends, you know what I'm saying? They wanted Adrian real bad, so James Franklin was all of this cool guy talking to him. I'm like, man, I like this Franklin guy. He's gonna be a head coach one day. I can see it. His energy, everything, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. When I tell you he been letting me down since that day, boy, he been letting me 1-13? 1-13?
1-13 and what? What is that? What is 1-13?
First top 5 opponents.
James Franklin. The coach at Penn State, he won the 13 against top 5 opponents.
And like I said, I ain't gonna be long, but this game was what was y'all doing? Like these calls at the goal line be like, what are we? Fourth and goal at the 1, you in shotgun, trying to throw a pass. 4th and 1, your quarterback 6'4". 4th and 1, like. Interception right before the half. Y'all ain't get no points before that. Oh my God, man. Then you was arguing with a fan at the end of the game. Man, all right, man. Shout out to Ohio State, man. They did enough to win the game. I don't think neither team played really well, but Ohio State just made enough plays to win the game.
Yeah, they did. Shout out to Ohio State. You guys giving me the Big Ten championship rematch that I thought we would see, which is Oregon and Ohio State. Shout out to them. Congratulations to Ryan Day. You took a lot of heat. You couldn't beat Michigan. Hopefully you can, as they say, Ohio State bought the best team. So let's see. Hopefully you can coach these guys up so you can be worth every dollar that you spent. But you mentioned James Franklin, so I'm going to speak on James Franklin since you didn't want to. James Franklin is 1-13 against AP top 5 teams. 1-13 as a coach. 1-13. Some of that started at Vanderbilt, a lot of that as at Penn State. Unacceptable. Ladies and gentlemen, do you know that James Franklin struggles against Ohio State and Michigan? I'm sure you guys know that. I'll give you his record against Ohio State in a second. Ladies and gentlemen, look at Penn State's schedule. They don't play Oregon this year. They don't play Indiana this year. They don't play Michigan this year. Just had Ohio State. All they had to do was beat Ohio State. They would have been in the Big Ten championship game. James Franklin, it's time to have a conversation about you. It's time to have an uncomfortable conversation about you. Sir, I don't think you should have your job anymore. You are 1-10 against Ohio State. You coached against Ohio State 11 times. You're 1-10. Unacceptable. This year, you have them at home. If you can't beat Ohio State this year, when are you ever going to beat them? They usually have better quarterbacks than Will Howard. Dwayne Haskins in college, better than Will Howard. C.J. Stroud in college. We know what he's doing in the NFL, better than Will Howard in college. Cardell Jones. We saw what he was in college. He's better than Will Howard in college. Ohio State usually has a transcendent or better than, let's say, a transcendent college player or a transcendent pro player at the quarterback position. You're 1-13. You're 1-10 against Ohio State. They is who I thought they were. James Franklin. You had, when the game was on the line, you had an offensive lineman in motion 3 plays in a row to do nothing. You are who I thought you were. You are a fraud. You are a disappointment. And anytime Penn State is playing against a team that is on their level or better, I'm always going to take the team that's better, especially if you have a better head coach. James Franklin, you are a disappointment. Straight up, no questions asked. Disappointment. Losing at home, unacceptable. Unacceptable. You got any more words to say, brother? Or you good?
That's it, man.
Appreciate it. Thanks. So let's move forward to this upcoming week in college football, week 11 preview. College football, big games this week. Big games this week. Let's start off with number 2 Georgia at number 16 Ole Miss. Game is Saturday, 3:30 ABC. Who you like?
See, this the part of the season make me dance a little bit, boy. This one is
this one the season get right. These are, ladies and gentlemen. By the way, when you have ranked team versus ranked team with the 12-team playoff, these are what we call elimination games because you will be eliminated if you lose. Floor is yours, brother. Go ahead.
Man, this game, boy, I could talk all day about this game, but I've been going back and forth with this game in my mind because I told you when Florida State started, normally I just go to my family in Georgia and we just rock out together. But Ole Miss, man, I don't know, man. At home, 3:30. Jackson Dart playing like he playing lately. Carson Beck been struggling, boy. 11 picks in the last 4 games. That sounds like Ole Miss gets the upset at home. Give me Jackson Dart, Lane Kiffin. Always been a Lane Kiffin fan from FAU to Alabama, assistant, all that. Give me Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss with the upset.
I was gonna pick Georgia. I really was. I'm agreeing with you. I'm gonna take Ole Miss. I think Jackson Dart is playing better than Carson Beck. Carson Beck has been, even though he's gotten away with wins, he's still playing a little bit schizophrenic, still playing bad. And also looking at Georgia's schedule, ladies and gentlemen, this is not me being oxymoronic or going against myself, but Georgia has 1 loss. I think, and that large bid can make the playoffs with 2 losses. And if you look at Georgia's schedule, not fast forward to next week, However, I'll say this. I think there's a game that involves Georgia next week that me and Tim will both be picking. I'll just leave it at that. So I'm going to take Ole Miss. I think this game is more important than Ole Miss. I like what I'm saying from Jackson Dart. And Lane Kiffin needs a signature win. Why not have it here at home against Georgia? Give me Ole Miss. I'm taking Ole Miss with you. The next game that we're going to go over, the number 21 team in the country, Colorado. Colorado Buffaloes, they're at Texas Tech. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a big game in the Big 12 standings. Last week, Iowa State lost, Kansas State lost. So early in the year, me and Tim had questions about Colorado. If you don't even have to squint your eyes. If you look hard and firmly at the path for Colorado could be in the Big 12 championship game with a chance to make the college football playoff. I'll start us off. I've been drinking the Kool-Aid before the season started. I got a little off the road with Nebraska because I thought Nebraska was a bad loss. But I got my Kool-Aid. Colorado. I think Colorado going to beat Texas Tech. I think Shador, I think Travis Hunter, and I think Coach Prime will get those boys ready. Texas Tech came off a big win at Iowa State. These are college kids, as we all know. So give me, yes, they beat Iowa State 23-22. Give me Colorado on the road to beat Texas Tech.
Yeah, this game styles, like both teams can score really well. Colorado defense actually been playing well lately. Texas Tech really still don't believe in defense too much. So I'm going Colorado. I personally think Colorado runs the table the rest of the way. I think Travis Hunter is every week he's going to submit his case even further for the Heisman. And I like Colorado, man. Colorado gets it done at Texas Tech. I don't think it's a shootout, though. I think college. I think it's like a 31-24. That might be considered a shootout. So, shootout-ish.
Shootout-ish, yeah, I got you. Yeah. Looking at Colorado's schedule, they play at Texas Tech. They play Utah at home without the quarterback, Cam Rising. They play at Kansas, who's been disappointing. And they play Oklahoma State, who's been very disappointing as well. So, Texas, again, Colorado, they definitely got a chance to get to that Big 12 championship. More likely than not, they'll play BYU. We'll see how it goes. Last game that we're going to go over. Ladies and gentlemen, this is no doubt, unequivocally, no questions asked, an elimination game. Number 11, Alabama, travels to number 14, LSU, Death Valley. Saturday, 7:30 ABC, Chris Fowler, Kirk Street, Holly Rowe on the call. Who you like?
Ooh, man. Can we see both top programs losing the same day, and possibly, one of them, Alabama will be eliminated if they lose. In my opinion, 3 losses. I don't think they get in there. Whew, it's hard to bet against that. Man. I'm going LSU overtime win. LSU overtime. It's going to be a classic game. LSU
Classic game. LSU at home, Death Valley. Last time Alabama went here, they lost. It wasn't in overtime, but it was basically at the end of the game. They lost to LSU. They won't lose this time. Get your rolls on. I'm going with Alabama. I like Alabama to win this game. Despite what people might think, Jalen Milroe isn't the most accurate quarterback. I actually agree with you on that. But I think he makes winning plays. I'm not impressed with this LSU defense, just not at all. Last game they played Texas A&M with a freshman quarterback. They gave up 38 points. The game before that, they played Arkansas. They gave up 10 points. But I still like what I see from Alabama. I think Alabama, they understand what's at stake. They understand if they lose one more game, that they are done. They're eliminated. Alabama still has a chance of making the college football playoff. I think Jalen Milroe will be the best player on the field. So give me Alabama on the road to beat LSU. I think it'll be close. I don't think it'll go to overtime. I think it'll be a close game, but I think Alabama will find a way to pull out and win the game on the road. Man, this is a great week of college football, as you guys can see. Some other marquee games this week as well. just give a shout out to a couple other games while we're on here. I'm gonna give a shout out to Florida and Texas. That's a 12 o'clock game. I like what I saw from Florida at Georgia. I think if Florida could bring that same energy at Texas, we could have a good game with that game. So again, as you see these games, a lot of these games are elimination games for the season. So as the college football season pick up, we'll understand the contenders and the pretenders.
For sure.
Absolutely. You're watching Highly Opinionated. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Highly Opinionated, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see, we got a special guest. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the smartest football minds that me and Tim both know. This guy's prepared. He's ready. Firing out the gates. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Alex to Highly Opinionated. Let's welcome him to the show. What's going on, Alex?
Yes, sir. What's going on with y'all boys, man?
Man, it's a pleasure to have you on the show, man. We appreciate you for your time. Tell us a little bit about you, man. What's going on with you?
Man, nothing much, man. Artist cooking up some tunes, man. At the point right now, just trying to work on some new stuff, working on a new project. But outside of that, you know what I mean? Just same thing every day. Just, trying to be 1% better the next day, man. And come on here and talk about this sports with y'all boys, man.
Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. 1% every day. I love that. I love that motto. Go ahead, Tim.
No, I definitely appreciate you having us. So, to get started with the music, man, what made you start wanting to make music? Like, when did this process start for you? Like, was it young age or did you start high school? Like, when did it start? Like, man, I want to do this music thing.
Man, I feel like music was something that I always rock with. You know what I mean? Like growing up, like surrounded by music in the church and stuff like that. So just the ear for the sound. But then I feel like in high school is when I really started like kind of dialing into it. And then like once I got to college, started taking it a little bit more serious like that.
Who were some of your musical inspirations growing up as a child? Like obviously watching music, listening to music, stuff like that.
I feel like when I was younger, the musical inspirations really didn't hit as hard as I got older. You know what I mean? Like I feel like because when you're younger, you listening to it and like music is music. You just listening to anything, right? Kind of, sort of. And when you're younger, you don't really be in control of it till a certain age anyway. Like you're not playing the music. You might be in the car with your peoples. You know what I mean? They controlling the radio and stuff like that. So I think when I got older, I don't even know. I just really like Kanye, like new Kanye, like 808s and Heartbreaks Kanye, like because he was experimenting with the sounds, and I feel like people who were like branches off for him from like the Travis Scotts or the Cuddies and stuff like that, just people who weren't afraid to experiment. You know what I mean? Like I feel like hip hop is so traditional. You know what I mean? That if you don't be coming with the bars, like a lot of people don't want to hear it, or they won't put you in a category of like, in hip hop. But you know what I mean? I feel like Kanye kind of broke those barriers down. So it's like that realm of people, like the Kanyes, the Travs, the Cuddys. But then there's all genres in general. I feel like you could take pieces from all of them and like apply them.
Gotcha.
So in your music, what do you consider your music? Like, how would you consider if I'm to promote? We're promoting your music, right? So how would you explain your music to the people?
I feel like it's definitely got a hip hop background, right? Just based off beat selection. But then I guess you could say, as far as like maybe feel and lyrics, it might blend into like an alternative, like you know what I mean, because it's not necessarily something that's bar for bar. Your like I said, your traditional hip hop like music, but it has the hip hop beat influence. But like as far as lyric goes, it's just a vibe, like you know what I mean.
Okay.
Got you. Just a vibe. So again, I know you said you would consider it hip hop, but what other genres? I'll say obviously when you started to control the music you listen to, what other genres other than hip hop did you listen to?
Man, everything, man. Like I feel like that's where the best music kind of gets made. Like I feel like if you are like tunnel vision listening to one thing, like the music gonna sound like one thing. But if you listen to a whole bunch of stuff, so like I love listening to like indie and alternative just because they have no barriers on their music. Like it's just so experimental. Like you never know what you're gonna hear. So like indie, alternative, hip hop, of course R&B, like hip hop and R&B, I feel like especially like our community culture, like that's grounded. Like you always gonna resort back to that, but just listening to everything outside of that as well.
Gotcha. Go ahead, Tim.
Where can we find your music?
Shoot, you can find it pretty much anywhere. It's on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, any streaming platform really that you go on under just Alex Micheal.
Okay.
Absolutely. Okay. Okay. So again, might have asked this, kind of like asked this before, but I'll ask in a different way. Like, do personal experiences, the like personal experiences in your life make you want to get into music? Like, what made you really want to be like, yo, I want the world to hear my voice and hear what I got to say, whether it's rapping, singing, alternative, etc. Like, what made you want to get into music?
Man, to be honest, the first time, so Travis Scott probably one of my favorite artists, like the most influential artist, like a sub out of Kanye, right? The first time I heard his first like project that he dropped, Al Pharaoh, I thought it was like super dope, super experimental, love the beats, love the vibe. But then it really came on to me, not necessarily making music for the world, but making music for like the fam, like for the friends and you know what I mean, the gang, you know what I mean? Because I'm a big music head. Like I said, I listen to so much outside of just rap and R&B, and you know, so do everybody else that I know. So like, it really just started with me making music that they could vibe to as well. Because I feel like nobody that I was rocking with was making music at the time. So I'm like, man, let me just, you know what I mean, dabble into it and just create some stuff that they could vibe to, like on their own type stuff.
Gotcha.
So your next project, you working on the project right now?
Yeah, I'm working on a project right now. I don't have a name for it. At this point, I'm just kind of just cooking up tracks, and as I cook up the tracks, you know what I mean, catch the vibe from there, see how it's flowing, and then just come up with a name and come up with a date. But
I got a second question for that. Like, what is your writing process? Like, how do you come about with your ideas and write them on paper? You have some people say they just go in the studio, record, they don't have to write nothing down, or you know what I'm saying? Certain people say certain things, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So how does your writing process take place?
I think it's all different to be honest. Like at one point when I very first started making music, I was writing a lot of things down, and like I still might write some stuff down now, but it may not be like before I might write a whole verse, right? But now I feel like it's harder to do that, to be honest. Like now I just like I don't want to sit like let's say I'm going to the studio tonight, right? I don't want to sit here and listen to the beat and write because once I get to the studio, I'm gonna be feeling a different type of way. You know what I mean? Like it ain't gonna feel the same way when I go in the studio and record as I'm feeling right now in the present, right? I know some people get on their phone, they'll record it in their audio message and stuff like that, and then go in there. To me, it just don't translate like that. So I think like my process, I go in there, listen to the beat again. I might have some stuff before and then see how I feel, or I might just listen to the beat, listen to the beat, listen to the beat, and then start, penning some stuff while I'm in there. Might pen a line, might pen a couple, and then just build off of that for real.
Okay.
Gotcha. Other than music and sports, what other passions do you have?
Man, music and sports is definitely the biggest. And then outside of that, man, I just like hiking, nature stuff that'll just clear your mind, just be in tune and just really be in reality with a lot of things. I feel like we're in an age now where everybody be on their phones and be consumed with just like not being in the now. You know what I mean? And I feel like, time ain't promised. So I just trying to be, as present as I can be.
No, I love that. Speaking especially on the fact about nature, uh, like I like walking, and like
Yes, sir.
lot of people get on me like, bro, you got a car. Like, why are you walking across the street? It's like, well, bro, listen, like it's fine for me to drive my car across the street, but the things that I miss, I can see walking. Like, for example, the human interaction. Like one of the things you
Facts.
see, like we don't have that in this society now. Like everything is with the phone. Everything is with the this, that, and the third, whatever. Like at the end of the day, like let's yeah, like I like the human interaction. So I actually like the nature part of you, like nature walks, just interacting, getting out with people, et cetera, et cetera. So that's perfect.
Yes, sir. I feel that. I feel that. Yeah, that the interaction, bro. You basically just said it. Like a lot of people don't be in tune with the human interaction. You know what I mean? Like that's what we on here for Earth, the human interaction. Like so, I don't know. It's crazy.
Yeah, and to
Absolutely.
piggyback off that, yo, you learn so much stuff just by talking to other people. You know what I'm saying? Like your phone can help you, but so much. Like I learned more talking to somebody older than me than I would learn trying to Google something on my phone because it's just so much game and advice you get through personal interactions. So they definitely huge on a daily basis.
Yeah, it's facts.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, again, let people know where they can get your music from. One more time, please let them know.
So they could go on any streaming platform, whether it be Apple Music, Spotify, Tidal, YouTube, and just Alex Michael. You can look it up and it'll be available on there.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Appreciate that. We appreciate you for letting people know where you can get your music from. And make sure people, ladies and gentlemen, y'all go listen to Alex music. Definitely dope. Check it out. I'm sure you guys will see some tunes that you like for sure. Definitely. While we have you on here, sports show. You feel me?
Yes, sir.
About some sports. We see you ready. Got the fire coming out the hat. You ready to go? So we usually let the guests dictate and let us. We come at me and Tim will come at it from there. Floor is yours, Alex. Let's rock out.
All right. So came on here with a couple of topics today, right? First thing with the Saints coach getting fired, Dennis Allen, right? We midway through the season. I wanted to know what other teams y'all boys thought coach wise will be on the hot seat, right? So you got the Browns, 2-7, who was a playoff team last year, Stefanski, maybe on the hot seat. You got Jags, Doug P. There was a playoff team last year as well, right?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
No.
they should have
No,
made it, but they didn't make it. But you're
No, they
right.
didn't
that
make
was
it.
the year before when they came out. Okay, so they 2-7.
But they
All right.
were they were 8-3 last year, and then they started on that losing slide when Trevor Lawrence got hurt. So you are technically right. Go ahead.
Okay. And they got pieces. They got pieces over there, right? You got Giants, Brian Daboll, 2-7. I feel like it may not be Brian Daboll's fault because I like Brian Daboll as a coach, but I think it's the organization got to choose between him or Daniel Jones at this point. What I feel like Daniel Jones isn't it, and I feel like he's not going to be the one to get them there. But we'll see. You got the Titans, first year coach Brian Callahan, but I know, and I have been seeing a lot of Titans fans saying that they cut Mike Vrabel too early, right? And then my man Tim, all right. Even though the Eagles are sitting at 7-2, I've been talking to a lot of Eagles fans who are saying, man, like, Sirianni got to go, which I don't really watch Eagles games like that just because, if the Ravens playing at the same time, I ain't going to catch it as a Ravens fan, or it might not be on. But at 7-2, I don't see why Eagles fans are saying, Nick Sirianni's on the hot seat. So I want to definitely hear from him as far as what his take is on that. But what do y'all boys think, man? Who's on the hot seat for y'all?
Because Tim is going to be so long-winded with the Eagles. I'll go first.
No, I'm not.
He's going to be long-winded with the Eagles. But out of all the coaches you said, the coach to me that's on the hot seat, Doug Peterson. You got in my opinion, you got a good quarterback. Trevor Lawrence. I thought he was a little better than what he is, but he's a good quarterback. The team was 8-3 last year. I heard Scott Van Pelt say, I was watching Scott Van Pelt the other night. He was like, we did a Monday night countdown game last year, Cincinnati at Jacksonville. Jacksonville was in contention for the number 1 seed for the conference. I remember they had a game against the Ravens last year for Sunday night, basically for the number 1 seed in the conference. Jacksonville lost that game, and then they basically slided towards the end of the season. So for me, I think it's Doug Peterson. I expected more out of Jacksonville. I picked Jacksonville to win the AFC South before the season started right here on this show. And Jacksonville, they're not making the playoffs. So for me, it's Doug.
Okay.
Yeah,
and they got
I would
pieces.
go-
They got pieces. But go ahead, Tim.
I'm my bad, Tim. I'm sorry to cut you off, bro. I'm sorry.
No.
Brian Thompson. Brian Thomas. I like him. Zay Jones. Not Zay Jones. Christian Kirk. I like him. Evan Ingram. I like him. They got 2 good running
Tank.
backs.
Yeah, you got Tank. You got Travis.
Travis Etienne and Trevor Lawrence literally came from the same institution, ladies and gentlemen. It's an institution in South Carolina called Clemson University. By the way, I know this is not a college football topic. Dabo Sweeney, you might want to start entering the transfer portal. I'm just saying. But I digress. Another subject, another topic for another day. They came from the same university at Clemson, so they know each other. Doug Peterson, this is on you. The team looked like they quit. Why would you run on the play against the Eagles to win the game? Why would you run a not even an angle route, whatever route to a 3rd string running back, Dearness Foster? You didn't throw the ball to Tank Bisbee. You didn't throw the ball to Travis Etienne. Threw it to your 3rd string running back. Like, the team gave up on you. And if you watch that play, Trevor Lawrence, as he's walking off the sideline, basically just walked past Doug Peterson. They don't even say nothing to him. So, to me, I think Doug Peterson has lost that team. So, for me, Doug Peterson, I expected more. I needed more. You got to go, bro.
Yeah, I would go. I'm going Cleveland and Stefanski.
Oh.
I think he's done a horrible job. Might be the worst coaching job I've ever seen. His team actually has Jags are good, but the Cleveland roster is loaded. Like there's really no holes in that roster. So for me, Stefanski's terrible. So yeah,
the worst coaching job you ever seen, bro.
One of them. I can't offhand. I'm talking about with a loaded roster. Like some people get put in bad situations. His situation wasn't that bad. Like if I was coaching them, we'd be 8-0. That's what I'm like. He's bad. He's that bad to me. You know what I'm saying? So like he's terrible. So yeah, that's for me. The Eagles, I can't even say the man name.
Sirianni.
Sirianni talk. I get why people feel like they want him because he basically branded Staley, but he win, right? So like
Right.
he's taking a lot of risks, but we just talented enough to win, overcome, you know what I'm saying, overcome what's going on. So I don't think he should be fired though. I think he's just learning. Like so Dan Campbell gets praised for taking risks too, right? Because they successful. Like it's just your success rate. Your success rate just got to be better than your fail rate. Right now he's failing more than he's successful right now, so that's why they call him for his head. But once he get them numbers a little better, I think he'd be fine. The real problem is this guy daggone tush push though. Like so we gotta have some type of play off this tush push. Like it can't be 4th and 1, 3rd and 1. We just go to the tush because they stopped it. Jacksonville stopped it 3 times yesterday. So it has to be like a play off of that. Like to me, if they think we line up in that tush push, hey, Eagles, if y'all looking at this, here a play for y'all. We line up in the tush push. Let's run a speed option. Get outside on the corner. I guarantee you, we gone. You know what I'm saying? That's you just need one play off the tush push. You can't just keep running the tush push. Like
Yeah.
people gonna figure it out. You know what I'm saying? So that's
Yeah.
really, I think, his biggest fault. But I mean, they'll be fine just because the talent, like talent wise, they'll be fine.
Yeah. I feel like that speed option would be crazy, right? Or
Think
even
about
think
it. You know what
about
I'm saying?
that would be crazy. Think about the tush push formation, right? But without the quarterback under center, right? Maybe drop him back a little bit more, right? Or get like a direct snap to the back or something
Somebody
like
else.
that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Something different. You just need something, a variation to make the defense think. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to slow the defense down just for that much. That's all they're taking football. I'm just trying to slow you thinking. You got to think about something. I just got to free you for 1 second. That's all he got to do. So just make a variation off of that, and we fine. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing I see wrong with him. He goes for it a lot, but some of them cases I'd be like, go for it. I just don't like the play call of it. But just change that, and that'd be
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah, I think I think I think Nick Sirianni is sometimes over criticized, but I think the game against Jacksonville, I think he went for it. He went for too much. If you watch that game, the Eagles were significantly better than Jacksonville. That game should
Yeah.
have never came down to a Trevor Lawrence throwing an interception to N'Kobe
Yeah.
Dean. By the way, he played that route like a cornerback instead of a linebacker. Shout out to N'Kobe Dean on that play, but that game was too close. The reason why I'm not as high on the Eagles as Tim is, well, 2 reasons. I'm not an Eagles fan. He is, but more importantly, I just don't trust their coach. And when you get into the playoffs, you guys understand this. You know football. You guys know playoff football. The smallest margin is why you win. The smallest margin is why you lose. So yeah, like Tim can disagree. That's cool. I trust Dan Campbell more than I trust Nick Sirianni. Because Dan Campbell guys, it seems like when he's ready to do something crazy, most of the time they come through. Now I know they didn't come through last year. If you want to mention that, fine, I'll give you that. But this year, the way that he's invested in those guys, like, look, man, we're gonna go for it, we're gonna rock out, we're going for the gusto. I just feel like Dan Campbell got a better connection with his guys than Nick Sirianni does with his guys.
I agree. I agree with that 1,000%, right? But I'll take it one step to the left, right?
Okay.
It may not be that I trust Dan Campbell more than I trust Nick Sirianni. I trust the Lions OC more than I trust the Eagles OC.
Okay, I give you that. That's fine because Ben Johnson's going to be a coach next year. The Lions, and I'm not bragging about me picking the Lions. Obviously, like things can happen. They're not shooed in to go to the Super Bowl. But the reason why I picked the Lions before the season started, they should have beat San Francisco last year in the
1,000%.
And then also, Tim, you know this better than anybody. Look at what happened to your team. The Lions, in my opinion, were the best team or second best team before the season started going to the NFC, going into the season this year. They're going to lose Ben Johnson. If they were average, they were going to lose Ben Johnson. Well, they're good. So you know they're losing him. The Raiders just fired their coach. The Saints fired their coach. They're going to see other teams fire their coaches throughout the season. The Jets fired their coach. So somebody's going to hire Ben Johnson. The time for the Lions to strike is now. And one more thing. The Lions need to go out here and capitalize and finalize that deal for Zadarius Smith. They need to pass.
Is that in the works? I've seen that. Is that in the works?
I saw that. So they said that was supposed to happen on Monday, and it hasn't happened as of up to this hour as of yet. So for me, they need to finalize that before Tuesday's trade deadline. I think that they will. So for me, I agree with you. I trust Dan Campbell more than I trust Nick Sirianni, and I definitely trust Ben Johnson more than I trust Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore will never be a head coach in the NFL, in my opinion.
Nah,
Ben Johnson will.
I agree, 1,000%.
Go ahead, Tim.
Oh no. I mean, we'll see them in the championship game. We gonna beat
Yeah,
them.
I think that will be the NFC Championship game. I really
Yeah, I
do.
agree.
I don't think they can't stop us though. They ain't gonna be able to stop us.
Well, all right, Tim. So let me hit you with this. I said this before the season started. Whoever has home field in that game, and I think the Lions will have home field in that game, I think that will decide the winner. Because if the game is in Philly, you're right, bro. Jared Goff outside playoff game, I'm a little nervous. But that game in Detroit, think about this. Remember, you said this to me last year. Remember when Tampa played Detroit? And I'm like, yo, Tampa gonna beat them. You like, yo, JD, they're not losing that game in the dome. Nah, they're not doing that. I just feel that way about them in the dome. That's all.
And then Aiden Hutchinson ain't gonna be back neither, though. It's a big piece.
I know.
But see,
that.
Yeah.
The only reason why I picked them last year because they ain't never win no playoff games last year. So now it's a little different. Like the dome gonna be rocking, but it's a little different this year. Like it's you know what I'm saying, like the atmosphere, you know what I'm saying, Eminem and all that was a little over. They had to win.
Yeah,
they couldn't have dropped that one. Yeah, it was too much.
Like it was one of them things. Like it was too much going on for them. You know what I'm saying? It might have been a ride if they lost the game.
Yeah, they did players. We don't want nothing to happen, y'all. But if y'all lost them games, they would have burned the building down. Which y'all had.
Something.
We get you. I got you. You are right on that. Though. You are right on that. Like I give you that because the first time doing something in years, I'm gonna go back to your example, the wet dream. When you actually get past the wet dream and you had sex for the first time, it's an amazing feeling. You found me like this is
you done graduated.
So there you go. Ladies and gentlemen, my co-host is the best. The Detroit Lions last year they graduated. They went from high school to college. So there you go. And this year they go from college now into the real world. So there you go. Go ahead, Alex. I'm sure you got more questions for us. So let's round up.
I want to know what y'all boys' opinion is right now on mid-season MVPs because we are halfway or through the season at this point, right? So on my list, this is what I have, not in any order, right? But just first off, what do y'all consider like? Because everybody has a different degree of what they classify MVP as being, right? So what is it? What is that?
What is the MVP?
What is the definition of an MVP to you, like on the team, right?
You want to go first, Tim, or you want me to go first?
You can go first.
So for me, an MVP, that is a player that, to me, an MVP of a league or team or definitely of a league is a player that basically cannot be replaced.
Right.
In my opinion. So, for example, you could replace Jared Goff on the Lions. You can replace him with Kirk Cousins. I don't think Kirk Cousins will have the same impact that Jared Goff is having with the Lions. You can replace Lamar Jackson with Jaden Daniels. I don't think Jaden Daniels is having the same impact on the Ravens that Lamar Jackson is. You can replace. I'll give you an example. So, you said give my who I think is in the MVP candidate.
Yes, sir.
Derrick Henry's in there.
Okay.
Saquon Barkley's in there.
Okay.
Lamar Jackson's in there.
Okay.
And Jared Goff's in there. Those are the four, to me, those are the four best candidates for MVP. Two of those candidates are running backs. You feel me? And also, it's not a coincidence that those two were the best signings on the offseason for a team. The Baltimore Ravens signed Derrick Henry. That was one of the best signings. And the Eagles signed Saquon Barkley. I'll even take it a step further. Tony Pollard, even though Tennessee's not good, he's having a good season with the Titans. So that was another good sign. It's not bringing up in wins. We understand that. But at the same time, you feel me? It still was a good sign. So for me, I have Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson, Jared Goff, and Saquon Barkley. If you made me pick an MVP right now, my MVP is Jared Goff. They're going to give the MVP. Most of the time, they're going to give it to a quarterback. So I think Jared Goff, out of all the quarterbacks, is playing slightly the best out of all the quarterbacks. As far as Lamar Jackson, Alex, I just want to put my point out here with him. I think he's a great player. I think he's exceptional. I think he's the creme de la creme. I don't think he's the best quarterback in the league, obviously, but I think he's the creme de la creme. He's in the top echelon. But you know this, I know this. As a Ravens fan, you know this. They not judging him what he doing from September to January. They don't care about Jack. They don't care about what Lamar Jackson could die from September until January the 10th. As long as his ass is reborn and alive January 11th and after, that's all they care about. Ladies and gentlemen, what I mean by that, they care about the playoffs. So I think that's going to hurt them in trying to win the MVP.
Yeah, 1,000%. I feel like as a Ravens fan too, that's something I could say. Like his play in the regular season, that's something that we're not really worried about at this point. You can have the best record against the NFC, and you could be out here dominating in the regular season, but at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is postseason playoff football. What are you doing there, right? So if you're not getting us to the point where we get into that Super Bowl, at least get there, right? Once we get there, then we can start having different conversations, different talks. But at least get there, because I feel like for Joey B, prime example, I like Burrow. I think he's above average quarterback in the league, but I feel like if he didn't get to that Super Bowl, he might not have been held to this standard in that conversation talk, right? With the other quarterbacks, as opposed to him at least getting there to that Super Bowl. Now you can put him in that conversation with the elite quarterbacks of the league, right? But I don't know.
Yeah, so my list. So first, MVP to me, like the most valuable. So like the most impactful player on the team. Like without them, the team doesn't look the same, right? So
Over
last
with.
year, yeah. So last year, I thought CMC was the clear MVP. They gave it to Lamar. I think sometimes they get it wrong. It just is what it is. Like, and MVP to me is like statistical season. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care what you did 2, 3, 4 years ago. Like this year, this season, right? And to me, if you looked at last year's season, CMC had a better year than Lamar Jackson. That's just if you look at the stats. Like, I don't know what they looked at, but like if you looked at the stats, I know. I guess they now all of a sudden people want to say head-to-head matchups. That makes what I'm saying. Even though Christian McCaffrey still had 100 yards, so he still clocked into work. You know what I'm saying? So on like 12, 15 carries. So I still don't get how that happened, right? So I definitely don't think he gets it this year. Is he in the conversation? Yes. But for me, it'll be Josh Allen. It'll be Josh Allen. I'm not going to do. Derrick Henry might be in it. They don't give it the running back, so I really don't want to waste the spot. It'll be Josh Allen. A name to watch out for is Joe Burrow. I think if they beat the Ravens on Thursday, they back in contention to actually, do something in the division. And his numbers are actually, look at his numbers. His numbers actually are really crazy this year. So Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Jared Goff, and the last one, I put Derrick Henry in there. I put
Okay.
Derrick Henry. I don't think running backs to get it, but Derrick Henry is having a great year. Even though I don't think he's better than Saquon Barkley personally, he's having a great year.
Yeah, I feel like it's two different fits, two different modes, right? With Saquon and the Eagles offense and how he's used in both the passing and the receiving game, and then Derek, who's more primarily used in the run game. He's not used as much in the receiving game. But
So
it'll be good
I
December
want
December
good.
1st to see that matchup. That's gonna
Yeah.
be a big
So it's gonna
matchup to see
sound
what's going on.
so this is gonna sound real crazy, right? So me and my homeboy talked about this years ago, right? I don't really think Derrick Henry is good. Like I just think he's big. Like I don't think like from like a running back standpoint, like I'm talking about and like I said, it's gonna sound crazy, right?
Crazy.
Like start to stop lateral movement. Like he's a one-way running back, bro. Like if he's not going straight downhill, he can't stop and go that way. You feel me? Like if you notice all his bad games, watch what happens at the line of scrimmage. They make him go do something else. If he gets downhill, he's a monster. Like you know what I'm saying? He big. This ain't a generation that believes in tackling. So I'm not saying he's sorry. I'm just saying I don't think he's like. I think his best skill is him being big. Like
Do
other
you
than
think?
that, I don't
Do you
think he's
think?
like.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, his best skill was being big. Like I don't think don't get like I said, it's no knock on him because trust me, I don't want some money with Derrick Henry. So you know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, like if you look at if you stop him at the line of scrimmage, he's average. Like, and people will be like, most people average. No, but most people can. If you say a lot of running backs, they jump cut. They, you know what I'm saying? They can make something out. He's really just downhill. If you make him stop and go that way, or stop and go that way, or force anything, He's an average running back.
So, okay, I hear that, right? I hear that, but I counter that with, okay, how long Derrick Henry's been in the law, in the league? How many years? How many leagues he been in the year? Right,
10,
10 years,
10.
right? So
Yeah,
I would say with what you said, I feel like I, lo- I feel like you're not the only person to feel like that, right? I feel like it's a lot of other
yeah,
people who have that same thought, right? But it's just like
yeah,
10 years of pure consistency. You would think, that somebody would knowing that, you game plan each week, you looking at film, that they will
yeah.
be able to stop that. But the consistency of him doing the same thing and replicating those amazing seasons year after year, he got to be, above average at that point because he's doing the
Yeah.
same thing. He's not switching nothing up, and they still can't stop him,
So I would rebuttal with like, so he get the ball like 30, 35 times a game.
right?
So like you know what I'm saying? Like once again, it's no hate on Derrick Henry. Like it's no hate. I just don't think like compared to these other guys, he's just not that cold to me. Like he's
Yeah.
good. Like don't get me wrong, he's good. But it's like that one person, like, you know what I'm saying? He's so good at one thing, he don't do nothing else. That's what
Yeah.
he is. He just so good at getting downhill. He don't got, you know what I'm saying? He don't do nothing
I,
else.
I would say this is just me because I don't want, ladies and gentlemen, I'm an equal opportunist. When it's time to go at my co-host, I'll go at him, but I'm not gonna go at him at this one because in the backhanded, I'm Tim. I'm not trying to say I'm your spokesman, but I'm gonna clean it up for Tim for this one if he don't mind me saying this. It's not that Derrick Henry is not good. He's a traditional running back. So as a traditional running back, for example, let's take it back. Derrick Henry is Adrian Peterson. And that's fine. That's cool. No. Just hear me out. Just hear me out. I'm not saying he's Adrian Peterson. I'm saying his running style was Adrian Peterson. He's a one type of style back. Whereas though Adrian Peterson was on the Saints, he played with Alvin Kamara. Alvin Kamara has more ability than Adrian Peterson. In my opinion, he's not a better running back than Adrian Peterson, but he has more ability because he can catch the ball. He has more speed. He can do a variety of things more than Adrian Peterson. For me, I don't want to get out here and say Derrick Henry's not good because I don't believe in that. People will run with that. I just think that Derrick Henry is a traditional back. And in today's NFL, you don't just see traditional backs. Think about
The success that they have.
Success that they have. Think about it. The only other traditional back in the NFL that you could think of is Nick Chubb. That's it, other than Derrick Henry. All the other ones can catch, move, run. They might be able to throw. Christian McCaffrey, Alvin Kamara, even the Ravens back and running back, Justice Hill, he has a little bit shiftiness to him. Saquon Barkley, Bijan Robinson, he can catch, he can run, he can. Derrick Henry's not that. So I just don't want to say Derrick Henry's not a good player. And I know you're not saying that. I know, but I'm just putting that out there. It's not that he's not good. He's just a traditional running back, a 25, 35 attempt running back. Most running backs aren't that anymore. That doesn't mean you're not good. You're just not what is in vogue in today's NFL. That's all.
All right. So think about this, right?
He wasn't good. No, let me go real quick. I didn't say he wasn't good. I said he's average. Once you make him do something at the line. I said he's a good running back. I said he's average. Once you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Like he's good. I'm not saying he's not good. I'm saying once you make him make a decision, that's when he's average. That's what I'm saying.
Let me just say this. I just my bad for the wordplay. Good, average, my bad. Average. I just want people to understand Tim is not saying he's not a good player. He's just saying basically what I'm saying is that Tim is basically saying the backhanded way. He's a traditional running back. He'd rather have other running backs in today's age than Derrick Henry. That's fine. That's a cool statement. The Ravens have Justice Hill and Keaton Mitchell on the roster to go with Derrick Henry. So they have a little bit of lightning. They also got they got thunder, but they also got some lightning on the roster with some speed and agility as well. So I don't think that's a crazy statement to say.
And I feel like the crazy thing is, right, with Derrick Henry getting all the carries that he got, right? Think about the other elite dynamic running backs in the league, right? Who was the best quarterback that Derrick Henry, because he's been with the Titans his whole career, right? So who's the best quarterback he's ever played with? And who are the best wide receivers that was over there in Tennessee? They had nobody to, I mean, Tannehill, would you put him up as an above average quarterback? Nah, right? He's average.
I don't think he's
like I said. I didn't. That's why I didn't want to sound like it was hate for Derrick Henry because it's not that at all. I just know like it's certain things you can do to limit Derrick Henry. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I'm saying. Like I don't think, like I think so. Like before before the season. Like I always thought Saquon Barkley was the best running back in the league before he came to the Eagles. Last 4 years, I just thought he was with the Giants. Like I
Yeah,
thought he was the best
and he
running
got to
back.
stay
I
healthy.
think
He got to stay healthy too. But
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
and that thing that was more his thing. He wasn't healthy. I thought he was better than CMC. Like you know what I'm saying? Like I thought he was better than those guys. That's just me personally. The way he runs harder, he's more physical, all that. So like I always thought he was the best running back in the league. So this it ain't got nothing to do with because I know Derrick Henry on the Ravens now, so that's why they think they said has nothing to do with him with on the Ravens. I always felt like Barkley was the best running back in the league for the last 4 or 5 years.
right. Yeah, not
Absolutely.
mad, not mad at it. So I had Henry in my MVP contention talk, but more so on the outside looking in, just because between him and Lamar, if I think that they was gonna give the nod to one of the two, I think they would probably give it to Lamar over
Lamar,
there, right? Just because you said they don't really give it out to running backs like that. So
right?
I had Josh on the list, right? I had
Josh
Lamar on
Allen.
the list. If the Redskins sustain, right? Let's say they go out there and only lose maybe a couple more games. I know they still got to play the Eagles twice, right? This year they still got to play the Eagles twice. I think they still got to play the
Oh yeah, they
Cowboys
play.
That's too
twice,
low.
They play the
That's
Sailors this week.
right? They seven and
that's too
two. I
low.
think that's going to be a great game. I think that's going to be a good game. Might be one of the better defenses, if not the best defense they played all year.
Yeah,
So
I
to see
agree.
what he do, and I think they had Washington too. So at home, see how they come off, see how they perform. If
yeah.
they continue to win, you gotta throw Jaden Daniels in there, I think, because if he's not on that team, they definitely not having that same success, right? Um, and then a dark horse that I have, I feel like is not somebody that, you know, is probably on anybody else's list, but you gotta kind of look at Kirk, right? Falcons was fourth last year. They number one right now in the division. I feel like if Kirk isn't on that team, the Falcons not looking like that. So I feel like Kirk Cousins definitely you gotta give him a
No,
look.
that's
He got that
that's
offense
definitely a
looking
good dark
right.
horse. No, that's
Yeah,
definitely a good dark horse.
definitely Kirk. I would definitely say a dark horse MVP. Only problem that they have is that they're in the conference with the Lions and the Eagles, and I think Jared Goff and maybe somebody from the Eagles would suffocate the Falcons because the Falcons aren't overwhelming. In fact, if you look at the playoff matches right now, the Falcons would play the Eagles at home in the first round. I would bet all my money on the Eagles.
Yeah, me too.
And let me just say, this is no hate because I like the Buccaneers, but I just don't. I don't think the Falcons. I think the Falcons are a good team, but I think they're more luck than good. And eventually, when you play a good team, that runs out. I think the Eagles this year are better than what they were last year. I don't think the Eagles are gonna uh, start 10. Well, they're not gonna start 10-1. Start 10-1 and then flounder throughout the season. So, but yeah, I definitely think Kirk should be in there for sure. But I want to mention this name, Josh Allen. I should have had him in my name. I would love to put him in there. So for that, that's a mistake on my part. Josh Allen is definitely in there because the
Yeah,
Bills, for them to be 6-2, 7-2 without a quote unquote number one receiver, those guys are doing what they got to do. So shout out to Josh Allen.
facts. I feel like Jared Goff, right? I would put him in the MVP conversation, but I just feel like his team offensively is so stacked that, like, for example, the other week when he had what under 100 yards, but he had three TDs. Like, I think it'll come down to those stats at the end not matching up with the other quarterback stats, right? So, like, I'm not sure where Jared Goff is right now in the top five yards passing in the league. Is he top five?
Yes, he is. I think he is. I mean, let me pull that up now. Go ahead. I'll
Yeah,
pull
I'm
that
not
up.
sure. I'm not sure if he is, but like, let's say, for example, I believe Lamar's top five in passing. He may have fell out this week. I think he is top five. He might be like five, 4. I'm not sure, but to be in the same category as those guys with way less attempts, right? Like looking at something like that as well. Like my
Yeah,
man might go out there and throw like 275 off 16 for 19, right?
actually,
So
Lamar is second. Lamar Jackson is second in the league in passing. Geno Smith is first. Lamar Jackson is second. Kirk Cousins is third. Tim's
okay,
dark horse. Joe Burrow is fourth. My guy Baker Mayfield was fifth.
okay.
So yeah, definitely. Like you said, I mean, Lamar's up
Like he's
there.
just got so much talent over there. Like, it's just like, damn, like you said, if Jared Goff wasn't on that team and you replace him with a Kirk Cousins, they might still have the same success because you got David Montgomery, you got Jameer Gibbs, you got Sam Laporta, you got J-Mo coming back, you got Amon Ross St. Brown. You got so much talent over there. You could plug a game manager maybe in that offense and they'll still get the same success as long as you don't turn the ball over. Because you don't got to do too much.
Yeah, you don't. You don't. Just get the ball. Basically, distribute the ball to your playmakers. Make sure they catch the ball, do what they gotta do, and rock out.
Yeah.
So now you're right. You're absolutely right. Well, Alex, brother, we want to thank you for coming on Highly Opinionated, brother. We will definitely have you back on in the near
Yes,
future,
sir.
man. Whenever you're ready to come back on, just let us know.
Yes, sir, man. I appreciate y'all boys for having me on here, man. Everybody who's not tuned in, definitely tune in. And you know what I mean? I'm tuned in, man, because I love the sports talk, man. I love the support, you know what I mean? It's all love.
Sir, let me say this. I don't usually say this to guests, but I'm gonna say it to you, sir. Whenever you want to sit in this chair, you get my number and you got it.
No, man. I don't want it, man. I'll just be blessed to come back up here and chop it up with y'all, man. I'll just come back and chop it up with y'all.
Alex, whenever you want the chair, you call Tim, get my number from him, and you got it, brother. You are good at this, man. You should be doing this yourself, man. So we will gladly have you on as regularly as we can, man. Keep up the good work, brother. Keep up the amazing music, man. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all make sure y'all follow his music wherever you stream music.
Appreciate that, man. Y'all boys keep up the good work, man. Y'all keep killing it. Keep coming on here. Keep being consistent, man. Keep doing that thing because we still listening. Everybody listening. You know what I mean? So
absolutely, man. We got you as long as you got us, brother. We appreciate you, man. Thank you, man. We appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Y'all boys take it easy.
All right.
You too.
Welcome back to Highly Opinionated, ladies and gentlemen. We want to give a special thanks. It's not special thanks. We want to give a special congratulations to the World Series champions, the LA Dodgers. They beat the Yankees in 5 games. Congratulations to the Dodgers. Congratulations to Dave Roberts, the manager. Congratulations to the MVP of the series, Freddie Freeman. The Dodgers won Game 5, 7-6. The Dodgers were actually down in Game 5. They were down 5-0. Came back, found a way to win the game. This Dodgers team was star-studded throughout the whole season, from Shohei Ohtani to Mookie Betts to Freddie Freeman to Dave Roberts, the manager. Clayton Kershaw didn't even play. So shout out to the Dodgers. Congratulations on them. I was wrong. You were right, my brother. Congratulations to the Dodgers.
Yeah, just to piggyback, man. I said 6. They did it in 5, man. You know what I'm saying?
I got 5 on it.
You know what I'm saying? Shout out Dodgers, man.
Absolutely. Congratulations to them. A little bit of baseball talk real quick before we move on. Garrett Cole, he's going to stay with the Yankees on a 1-year deal. He opted out of his deal. He's going to restay with the Yankees. Yankees met that time frame to get him back. So hopefully next year, I'll just say this, hopefully we can see a rematch because I would love to see the Yankees with a better roster against the Dodgers with this roster. I think we can see a rivalry, East, West Coast, going at it for years to come. So once again, congratulations to the Dodgers. They actually get to celebrate their championship the way they should celebrate it in style, unlike when they won it in the pandemic. It was all boxed in. They got to celebrate with their fans. So congratulations once again to the Dodgers. Now, let's change topics to the NFL. Week 9 of the NFL, Week 9 recap. We had some big games in the NFL this past week. Let's start off with the Lions and the Packers. The Lions beat the Packers 24-14. This Lions team, man, I picked them to go to the Super Bowl, man. They looking Super Bowl-ish out the NFC. Jared Goff is playing well. The running game is playing well. They didn't have Jameson Williams. That defense is playing well. I expect the Lions to also make a move for a pass rusher. Zadarius Smith on line 1. I expect the Lions to do what they need to do. What was your thought process on this game, and what do you think both teams are right now currently?
Packers actually let me down, man. I thought it would be a better game. We both picked Detroit to win, right? Or did you take the Packers?
I picked the Packers on here, obviously.
Yeah.
We're a little differently in what we texted each other. Yeah. But I picked the Lions. I picked the Packers to win on here. So go ahead.
Yeah. So the Packers actually let me down. I thought it would be a better game. I mean, it was raining, but Detroit played in the rain as well. Like it's not like one team was in the rain.
It wasn't like one team played in the rain, one team played in the dome.
So, you know what I'm saying? So like, you know what I'm saying? It just looked like they couldn't play in the rain. Like it just looked like Josh Jacobs was running well early, but I don't know, man. The Packers and the Texans, man, they giving me fraudulent bribes to both of them teams. Like
I told someone this earlier, and I know they're gonna watch the show. They're gonna love this. I told somebody that C.J. Stroud has not played well this year. His numbers look good, but if you watch the Texans play, they struggle against good teams. They beat bad teams, but they struggle against good teams. Hopefully, that's not an indictment for the Washington Commanders quarterback next year. We'll have plenty of time to talk about that next year, but I digress. Right. I think people get a little sidetracked when they watch football. I think it's just you got this for a long period of time. You actually don't. Like at the end of the day, defensive coordinators, they get paid too. Defensive players get paid too. Like they're not gonna let you just run up and down on them on the field. Getting back to this game with the Lions, like I said, I picked the Lions to go to the Super Bowl. I think the Lions will make a move against Darius Smith. Jared Goff has been the best quarterback in the NFC, 18 to 22, 145 yards, 1 touchdown, no pick. He is doing the thing that I criticize Baker Mayfield the most. Do not turn the ball over. If you don't turn the ball over, you could be and win every game. That's what Jared Goff is doing. Have a great 2 running back tandem with David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. The wide receiver, the tight end tandem is amazing. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Sam Laporta, Khalif Raymond, Tim Patrick, Jahmyr Gibbs, and they didn't even have J-Mo there. They didn't have Jameson Williams, that speed guy, the guy to get down the field. So I'm in love with this Lions team. I think we'll see the Lions and the Eagles in the NFC Championship game. Can't wait to take your money too. We'll talk about that off air. But I like the Lions to do what they need to do. As far as the Packers, let me just say this. Jordan Love is a turnover machine. Now, ladies and gentlemen, y'all don't want to admit this, but Jordan Love is a turnover machine. When you need him the most, he will turn on. When you need him the most, he will turn the ball over the mostest. I know the mostest is not a word, but he will definitely turn that mofo over. Jordan Love is a turnover machine. He had another interception in this game the game yesterday. It was 23 of 39, 273 yards, no touchdowns, 1 interception. Packers can't win if you turn the ball over. They just can't. Stop turning the ball over, Jordan Love, and the Packers can actually get to their ultimate destination. Next game we're going to go over. In the battle of the NFC West, the Rams beat the Seahawks in overtime, and actually, which was a great game. The Rams won 26-20. Matthew Stafford did what he did. Matthew Stafford was 25 of 44, 298 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. Kyron Williams, 22 attempts, 69 yards. Cooper Kupp, 14 targets, 11 catches, 104 yards, just doing what he needed to do. I like this Ram team. I think it'll come down between. I think this division is a 3-team race. Rams, Cardinals, 49ers. The Seahawks, for me, I'm not the biggest Geno Smith fan. 21 to 34, 363 yards, 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. That's why the Rams won the game, because he turned the ball over. And without DK Metcalf, Seattle just isn't the same team.
Yeah, this was the game of the day yesterday, man, because I actually thought Geno threw him out of it. Like that one interception he had that they took back for 100 plus yards. I thought that was the end of them. And he actually came back, threw a dart to Jackson and Jigba in the back of the end zone, tied up, go to overtime. And then for some reason, Seattle got the ball 4th and 1. They ran the same play on 3rd and 1. They ran it straight to my boy Walker. Ain't get no yards. Ran the same exact play and get on 4th and 1. Ain't get no yards. You know, Stafford's going to do what they do. They end up driving. They actually went to go play for a touchdown.
Absolutely.
Throw a dart, one-hand catch by DeMarcus Robinson in the game. Like, shout out to the Rams, man. They look like I said, man, they look like they going on that run.
Yeah, I picked them to win the NFC West. Like I said, I think it's a 3-team race. I think the 49ers are the 3rd best team in that division. I think the Rams and the Cardinals are the 2 best teams in that division. I think one of those 2 teams will win it. I'm in love with what I'm saying. Like I said, from the Rams, they got heart. They show resilience. Matthew Stafford, that dime he threw to DeMarcus Robinson, like you said, to win the game, that was a dime. That was a straight dime. DeMarcus Robinson, he caught the pass.
Yeah.
So great win for the Rams. Bad loss for Seattle. They lost to the 49ers and the Rams already in the season. So they need DK Metcalf back. They need Geno to stop turning the ball over, and they can actually be the team that we think they can be.
Yeah.
Last game that we're going to go over is the Arizona Cardinals and the Chicago Bears. Arizona beat the Bears 29 to 9. I'm high on Arizona. I'll get to them in a second, but before that, I want to speak on the Bears. Ladies and gentlemen, the Bears season is over. And you're like, well, Josh, why can you say that? Their season ended last week when they had that Hail Mary against the Washington Commanders. They have not recovered. Ladies and gentlemen, when you watch sports, you have to look at sports as you look at life. If you lose a $100,000 job and you have to work a $50,000 job, you're gonna suffer. You might not show outwardly, but inwardly, you're like, damn, I gave up $100,000 job for this bullshit. I'm flipping pardon my language, no disrespect to people that work at Burger King, McDonald's, Wendy's, etc. You went from working at an office that's now you flipping fries. You flipping burgers. You feel me? That's a little different. The Bears, they had a chance to have 2 losses at that time. They went from 2 losses to 3 losses. And in that division, a loss, you're already behind with the Lions, the Vikings, and the Packers. The Bears season they're not going to make the playoffs. Their season is over. They're going to win some games, obviously, but their season is over. The mental fatigue of not getting over that play. Caleb Williams talked about it on Sunday. That they were still talking about the play. The Bears season is over. They won't recover, and for that, Matt Eberflus, I'm sorry, brother. It looks like you're not going to be the Bears head coach next year.
Yeah, man. This game, man. I told y'all on here. I like Arizona because the quarterback paint his nails. I should have just listened to myself. That's why they lost, man.
Yeah,
Well, that's not the reason they lost, but I don't like they like you said, they got a hangover from the week before, man. Like that defense ain't gonna. They let a man run a 60-yard touchdown
to end the half.
Like they're just trying to run the ball out. You let them break for. I said, yeah, this game is over, man. Like, yeah, the Bears, their season over. You right, in Arizona.
Now, this is my thing about Arizona. I want to bring this up to you. I think Arizona is the third best team in the NFC. Yes, behind the Lions, behind the Eagles. I think Arizona is better than the Falcons. I think Arizona is better than the Commanders. I think Arizona is better than the Vikings because I trust Kyler Murray than I trust those other quarterbacks. I trust the way that Arizona is playing. If you look at Arizona,
More than Kurt.
Yeah, stop playing. Get out. Stop playing with me, Tim. Stop playing. You try. I got my red on the day for Tampa Bay. You trying to be funny? Stop playing. Yes, I try. So I think Kyler Murray is better than Kirk Cousins. He might not be having the season that Kirk Cousins is having, but I think Kyler Murray is a better player than Kirk Cousins. Think about what Arizona is that Atlanta is not. Arizona is a physical run team. Let me say, I got to give you credit, ladies and gentlemen. This is the same guy that a couple weeks ago told you that ground pound it just don't work. You can't do this. You can't do that. Well, let me bring this up. The Arizona Cardinals, I feel like their season changed. It was a Monday night game. They happened to play against a team who I said should have been grounding and pounding for the longest time, but I digress. That was the LA Chargers. That was a smash mouth football game. That was the same day that Tampa Bay got up on the Ravens 10-0 and then proceeded to get blown out 31-10. The two games are on at that time. Arizona is a smash mouth football team. I think the Arizona Cardinals are the third best team in the NFC. Behind the Lions, behind the Eagles, Arizona is the third best team in that conference.
I don't agree with that.
Okay, all right. Well,
I think they're better than Washington. I think Washington a little fraudulent. So
I do too.
So I can see them better than Washington. I don't think they're better than the Vikings.
Okay. Well, let me just say this. If the Colts had a real quarterback, the Vikings would have lost on Sunday night. Sam Darnold was trying to give that game away in every possible way. He was trying to give it away. And let me say this. You talked about Baker giving games away. That's the Vikings' problem. That guy, when the money on the line, he gonna give you a game. It's the same thing with James. You just got to catch it. That's the only problem that come with it. Sam Darnold gonna give it to you. You just got to catch it. So for me, I just like what Arizona's done. They're a smash mouth team. They run the ball and they physical. When you're a physical team, that can win you a lot of games in the NFL by just being physical. Just being physical. Week 10, man. Fastly approaching. NFL. My bad. I'm sorry. Before I get to week 10, let's do week 9 takeaways. Let's do our week 9 observations. I'm sorry for that. You start us off as always, my brother. What was your week 9 observations?
Man, CJ Stroud in that sophomore slump, man. He ain't been playing good, man. Them last 3 to 4 weeks, man. He been looking real regular. Lost to I'm not gonna say it. Yeah, I'm gonna say it. Lost to a bad Jets team. Didn't play well versus. I think they played. Who they played before that? They lost before that too. Man, I can't think.
I'm pulling it up now. Go ahead.
Yeah, pull it up. They played before that.
They lost to they lost to the Jets on Thursday night and they beat the Colts 23-20.
Yeah, they barely beat the Colts. Yeah, he just ain't been looking good them last 3 to 4. The Packers game too. The Packers after they played the Packers before that. Yeah, he just been having. I don't know if it's slumping for the rest of the year, but it look a little funny over there with the Texans, man. They 1 week they look like they couldn't contend. The next week you be like, man, I don't know about him. So CJ, we gonna need to see some improvement, man. Hey, Sirianni, Nakobe Dean saved you yesterday, boy.
Yes, he did.
Kobe Dean don't catch that pick, man. Boy, that seat.
You might. Nick Sirianni would have been fired today too.
Man, that seat was gonna get real hot because I don't know some of these two. I'm an aggressive play call. Like I like that. I like to be a little aggressive play caller myself, but man, sometimes you gotta take these field goals, man. Like especially if it's already on the board, you don't take. One of the rules in football, you don't take points off the board. You know what I'm saying?
You add them to the board.
You know what I'm saying? We trying to add them up. So boy, N'Kobe Dean, boy, and that might have saved you too, boy, because all them tackles you've been missing. Like you needed a play for us to root for you, boy. Because my next one, man, ain't no sunshine in Jacksonville, man. Ain't no sunshine. Y'all know I like to call the quarterback sunshine. You know, so ain't no sunshine in Jacksonville, man. I think.
Yeah, I my bad, because y'all. I like to call them ass. But go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't think, man. I know Dougie gone at the end of the year. I'm just curious to see what they're doing with Trevor. I'm just curious. I want to see if they're going to try to rebuild, restructure the contract. They got to do something, though. And my last one, man. Watch out. You know how you got a dark horse team and they just peaking, man. Watch out for them Bengals, man. I'm telling you.
Bengals.
Like, watch out for them Bengals. And I'm telling you, Ravens, this Thursday game, boy, it's an important game, man, because y'all only one game in front of them. So they win this game. This is all I'm saying, man. Joe Burrow, man, he been smoking, man. They peeking through them blinders, man. You know, you got them nosy neighbors and them blinders all messed.
The fact that you got these hand motions down is just amazing. You got to peek through the blinders, man. You got to peek through. Get there.
That's what
Shut that blind. Shut it. Close it. Don't look through there.
Right. Cincinnati peaking, man. That's all I'm gonna say, man. Watch out, man. Burrow playing some good ball, man. And defensively, it look like they figuring out week by week they getting people back. So just be on the lookout, man. That's all I'm gonna say.
Gotcha. I like your takeaways. I do. I agree with most, if not all of them. I'll start off mine. Detroit Lions, best team in the NFC. I think they're the best team. I think they're playing the best. I love what I'm saying from Jared Goff. Again, like I said before numerous times during this show, I think they'll make a move for Zadarius Smith, improve that pass rush. I love what I'm saying from the Lions. Lions just need to keep doing what they're doing. I think they will be in the Super Bowl representing the NFC. As I said before, I think the Arizona Cardinals, third best team in the NFC. I think they're better than the Vikings. I think they're better than the Falcons. I think they're better than I think only teams that are better than them are the Detroit Lions and the Philadelphia Eagles. I think Arizona is right there. I love what I'm saying from Kyler Murray. Shout out to the coach Jonathan Gannon. Their defense is firing. They made a trade today. They traded with the Broncos for Brown and the linebacker, so they get them another pass rusher to go along with what they have. So I love what I'm saying from the Cardinals, and I think they can keep it up. My next observation is NFL trade deadline. You say NFL trade deadline or trade deadline. What moves will be made during the trade deadline that will help teams? For example, right now, we have a lot of teams that's in the playoff hunt. The Denver Broncos are 5-4. The Colts are 4-5. The Bengals are 4-5. The Jets are 3-6. One of those teams can make a move. The Jets obviously have made moves. We get that. But one of those teams can make a move. The Chargers are 5-3. Which one of those teams in the AFC can make a move that can solidify their spot in the AFC? In the NFC, you have the Packers that are 6-3. Then after that, you have 4 teams that are 4-4, and you have one team that's 4-5. I got my eye on. The Buccaneers are 4-4. The Bears are 4-4. The Rams are 4-4. The San Francisco 49ers are 4-4, and the Seattle Seahawks are 4-5. Which one of those 5 teams are going to make a move to enable their spot into the playoffs? I don't think the NFC North is getting 3 teams in. So you got the Lions, the Vikings, and the Packers. I think one of those teams will slide back down. So which one, like I said, Buccaneers, Bears, Rams, 49ers, Seahawks, which one of those teams can make a move to try to get into the NFC playoff hunt? Not hunt, but solidify their spot in the NFC playoffs. And another one of my takeaways, Cowboy season is over. Dak Prescott is hurt. I didn't have the Cowboys make the playoffs before. I think Mike McCarthy is a dead man walking. I think the next Cowboys coach is one Bill Belichick. So I think the Cowboy season is over, but it's not all Mike McCarthy's fault. Jerry Jones did not support Mike McCarthy with
No.
the team he needed to be successful. My last takeaway. Last takeaway. I know this was the dud game of the day, but I like what I saw from Drake May. That play to tie the game, to force the game to go to overtime. I like what I saw from Drake May. I think he has a promising future. They just have to surround him with the right offensive line, the right skill position. And I think that the Patriots got themselves a quarterback.
I agree with Drake. I like him.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. You're watching Highly Opinionated. Welcome back to Highly Opinionated, ladies and gentlemen. Week 10 is fastly approaching in the NFL. You already know what time it is. Time. Let's get it going. Let's start off with the very, very highly important game on Thursday night, AFC North battle. Cincinnati Bengals at the Baltimore Ravens. This is obviously, in my opinion, this was the game of the year earlier throughout the season. So hopefully we get another great game on Thursday. I am, for all the Ravens fans, I am cringily asking Tim who he likes. So you guys.
That's crazy. You know what's crazy?
Who you like in this game?
That record, I basically had I had them losing one more game than what their record is now. So they 6-3. I had them like 5-4. So I ain't, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you know.
You know what I'm saying? I don't think they're gonna lose everything. But
by the way, before you go, the Bengals are 4-5. I'd like to get this out before we go through the game. Cincinnati is 4-5. The Baltimore Ravens are 6-3. The Baltimore Ravens are a 6-point favorite at home. The over/under for that game is 53. What was yours, my brother?
Yeah, they expecting another shootout because the last game, I don't think it's going to be a shootout. So I was going back and forth, right? So I'm like, I'm not going to say who need the game more, but I feel like the Bengals, it's that time. Like, this is the time where they normally start to pick it up. Like, you know what I'm saying? Things start to figure out. Ravens, they looking good offensively. Defensively, it still ain't there. I know it looked better versus the Broncos, but you could say that got more to do with the Broncos than the Ravens. You know what I'm saying? So give me the Bengals, man. Joe Burrow has another big day. Give me the Bengals with the upset.
Bengals to beat the Baltimore Ravens. The Bengals need the game more. I agree with you on that. I'm taking the Ravens. At some point in time, we just need to understand what teams are. The Bengals just aren't a good team against good teams. I don't know why. Like, that's kind of hard for people to imagine, but they're just not a good team against good teams. I don't know the question about T. Higgins as we record this. So T. Higgins is playing us something different. But with just Jamar Chase, I think the Ravens will find a way to win this game. So give me the Baltimore Ravens at home. I'm sure they'll be wearing the black jerseys and going all out. So give me the Ravens at home. I think the Ravens will beat the Bengals. I think the Ravens will find a way to get you 7-3. And at 4-6, at some point we got to be real about the Cincinnati Bengals. They just aren't a good team against good teams. Give me Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens to win this game at home. Our next game, we have the 6-2 Pittsburgh Steelers against the 7-2 Washington Commanders. The Commanders are favored at home by 2.5. The over/under for this game is 46. I'll start us off. I like the Steelers. The Commanders have not played against any good teams, in my opinion. If you want to talk about Cincinnati, that's fine. Cincinnati is 4-5. They're not a good team. You can't be a good team if you're under 500. They beat the Giants, the Commanders next, and they beat the Arizona Cardinals. I give them credit for beating Arizona. I think Arizona is their best win of the year. But I like the Steelers. I think the premature notion that Russell Wilson isn't any good or dead. No, I like the Steelers. I believe in Mike Tomlin. I believe in that defense. Give me the Steelers.
Yeah, you for this game, right? Just 4 words, but they mean everything. For this game.
My man Tim bought props. He bought props.
Give me one. Just give me one moment.
Let me. I'll just keep talking. So
yeah, keep going.
Okay. I like the Steelers. I like the defense. Give me T.J. Watt, Alex Highsmith, Minka Fitzpatrick. I love the connection that the Steelers have with Russell Wilson. He's expanded their passing game better than with Justin Fields. And I expect the Steelers to make a move for a wide receiver. Watch out for Darius Slayton. The Steelers could use a Darius Slayton type of receiver that can just be on the opposite side of George Pickens, be on the you got Pratt Fryer move inside as a tight end. So I like Darius Slayton. So again, hopefully that's enough time for you to filibuster.
Yeah, I'm
Are
ready.
you ready? Okay, cool. I like the Steelers. Go
You like
ahead,
the
tell me
Steelers,
what
man?
was yours.
Hey, look, man. I'm with you, man. Y'all hear this song? This for my man, Dangerous.
Oh yeah,
Danger.
danger, baby.
Yes, sir.
He probably play that every night to Sierra every time he get that
Hey,
good
look.
good. You know what I'm saying?
I'm going with Dangerous.
Dangerous.
We going with Dangerous. Steelers, Mystical Danger. That'd be my theme song if I was Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
I like the Steelers, like you said, man. I could have said it no better, man. They playing a great defense. I think, like you said, Commanders' best win probably Arizona team that I feel like a year or two away. But you know what I'm saying? They you know what I'm saying? They playing some good football, but give me Dangerous, man.
Dangerous.
Give me the Steelers, man.
Give me
the Steelers.
I like the Steelers. Like I said, they got the better defense, and ladies and gentlemen, they got the better coach. And y'all might think Jaden Daniels is better than Russell Wilson, but the Russell Wilson I've been seeing this year, he balling out. He balling out. He taking that Steelers team from an average team to now. There's some people dark horses to get to the Super Bowl because of what they see with Russell Wilson doing. So shout out to Russ, shout out to what he's doing, and shout out how he's doing it. Our last game that we're gonna go over, Sunday night football game, a great game. The Detroit Lions at the Houston Texans. Sunday at 8 o'clock, 8:20. The Detroit Lions 7-1. The Houston Texans are 6-3. The Lions are favored by 3 points. Over under at 49. Who you like?
Whew, man. Can anybody beat Detroit? That's what I've been saying to myself all day, man. I feel like, man, I think Detroit is the better team. I think the Texans win this game, though. I don't know how. I can't give you no breakdown. I can't even tell you how. I think Mixon does get going. I think Stroud looks better than he has in the last couple of weeks. So offensively, I think they look better. Texans defense scared me because they don't really get too much pressure. So Goff might, if he got a lot of time, he's gonna pick you apart. But something just telling me the Texans gonna win this game. Just like I had a funny feeling the Jets was gonna beat the Texans. I just had that feeling for some reason. I couldn't tell you why. So I'm gonna go with my gut, and I'm gonna go with the Texans.
I like the Detroit Lions in this game. I think the Detroit Lions will be able to get through the Houston offensive line. CJ Stroud is struggling. He's not playing the same well, but one of the main important factors is the offensive line is struggling this year from what they were last year. I love what Detroit is doing. I think Detroit is hot. I think they're firing. I think they're smoking on all the cords. They also get Jameson Williams back, that speedy receiver. Again, like I said, I expect them to make a move for Zadarius Smith, get him going. So I like the Lions to beat the Texans. I am not impressed with the Texans. If the Texans had a viable second team in that division, I would take the second team in that division over the Texans because I'm not liking what I'm saying. I think the Texans have a lot of Jacksonville in them from last year, start off hot and then fizzle out. Some of that is part of injury. Some of that is part of bad play. Some of that is part of lack of discipline, et cetera, et cetera. So give me the Detroit Lions. I think the Lions will find a way to beat the Texans on Sunday night. And I think Jared Goff will find a way to extend his MVP candidacy as an MVP candidate. Great week of NFL action this week coming up. Can't wait for that. Before we end the show, I also want to give a little bit of love to college basketball. Welcome back, college basketball. We missed you. Last time we seen you guys, UConn won the national championship. Since then, the Lakers tried to hire the UConn coach Dan Hurley. He decided to stay at UConn. We've had realignment, the same realignment in college football we see in college basketball. I just want to give you guys a couple marquee games for this week. This is the first college basketball starts Monday. You have Texas A&M at UCF. That game is on ESPN Plus. Texas A&M is number 13 in the country. You have number 19 Texas, Ohio State. They play in Vegas, 10 o'clock on Monday. That game is on TNT. And then arguably, I think the game of the week is Monday, the first Monday night, first big game of the season. Number 8 Baylor at number 6 Gonzaga, 11:30 on ESPN2. By the way, for all you people that live on the East Coast, this is the reason why we should move to the West Coast. I mean, we're going to be up to like 1:30, 2 o'clock just watching college basketball, so just keep that in mind. The next marquee game is Friday. You have number 9 North Carolina at number 1 Kansas. That game is 7 o'clock on ESPN2. And Saturday, it's a college football day, but you have 2 big college basketball games. Number 8 Baylor versus number 16 Arkansas. That game is in Dallas, 7:30 ESPNU. And then number 11 Auburn versus number 4 Houston. That game is a neutral site game. The game is in Houston. That game is at 9:30 on ESPNU. That game is on Saturday. So welcome back, college basketball. We will gladly bring you along with all the sports that we watch and cover. We are not picking national championships and Final Fours this early. We got to watch these teams play. You guys know in the transfer portal and recruiting that half these guys we don't even know. Yes, we know Cooper Flag because he played against Team USA. We know that. Yes, we get that. But some of these other guys we don't know. So we like to watch a couple games before you guys hold us against us that we picked this team to go to the Final Four in this. By the way, people, stop calling me about the goddamn Jets. Okay, I picked the Jets to go to the Super Bowl. I might be wrong, but damn, stop calling me about the Jets. So we're going to hold off on making our college basketball predictions, but a lot of great games this week. Before we go, I also want to give the top 25, AP top 25. The number 1 team in the country is the Kansas Jayhawks. Number 2, Alabama Crimson Tide. Number 3, UConn. Number 4, Houston. Number 5, Iowa State. Number 6, Gonzaga. Number 7, Duke. Number 8, Baylor. Number 9, North Carolina. Number 10, Arizona. Number 11, Auburn. Number 12, Tennessee. Number 13, Texas A&M. Number 14, Purdue. Number 15, Creighton. Number 16, Arkansas. By the way, they have a new head coach. Their head coach is very familiar to the public. Ladies and gentlemen, the new Arkansas head coach is one John Calipari. Number 17, Indiana. Number 18, Marquette. Number 19, Texas. Number 20, Cincinnati. Number 21, Florida. Number 22, UCLA. Number 23, Connecticut. Not Connecticut. Kentucky with their brand new head coach, Mark Pope. Number 24, Ole Miss. Number 25 to round out the top 25 is Rutgers out of the Big Ten. Have a very, very exciting college basketball season. Welcome back, college basketball. We are lucky and glad to have you back along with the NBA, NFL, college football, NHL, etc. Any thoughts on this college basketball season before we go, Tim?
So I don't really watch NBA basketball, but I love college basketball just because the competitiveness and they still hungry. Hopefully with the NIL that doesn't change much because it's to me it's just a better brand of basketball. Like I feel like the NBA, most time the team who shoot the more threes wins the game. You know what I'm saying? Like it's pretty simple formula in the NBA since we are analytics guys and that's how we play now. We don't play basketball, we play analytics. So, you know what I'm saying? So I think college basketball is a better product. So hopefully that doesn't change. So I'm actually excited, especially the UCF. I want to see the Mickey Williams kid because I feel like he's been out of high school for like 3-4 years and I don't know where he's been. So I just want to see him at this point. Cooper Flag, of course, he's hyped up. I've seen some of his stuff. He looks pretty good. So I'm just excited to see all the newcomers. Calipari at Arkansas. I'm just excited about college basketball, man. I can't wait for that to get started.
Me and you both. College basketball is a very exciting sport, and I'll give you that. Yeah, it's more exciting than the NBA. These guys fight. They understand that every possession matters. In the NBA, you lack a physical situation like that. So these games this week, like I said, the Baylor and Gonzaga game on Monday night, the Friday night game, North Carolina and Kansas, and the 2 Saturday games. It's great games all over. You guys make sure you watch. We will definitely have college basketball opinionists. I don't want to call them experts because no one's an expert. I call them
man, they expert. I'm excited.
Okay, well, college basketball experts. We'll have a couple on the show / opinionists.
Right.
So welcome back. Like I said, welcome back, college basketball. I'm a Duke fan. I am not necessarily picking Duke to win the championship. Doesn't mean I won't, but I like to see them play, see how they move, see how they operate, things like that. So for me, like I said, welcome back, and I can't wait to see new teams, new faces, and new places. Absolutely can't wait. So
yes, sir.
I want to thank you guys for watching episode 12 of the best show that you guys watch weekly, Highly Opinionated. For the best producer in the game, Ross. For the best co-host in the game, Tim. I am merely Josh. We thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys next week. We out.
Appreciate y'all.